Hey guys, Max Eberly here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some instructional commentary over some 9-ball practice from yesterday. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Alright, so that was a 3-rail position shot for the 4 in the side. I want it to be just have a little bit more angle so it would be even simpler to slide over, but I'm happy on this table because it's pretty fast. And if I get a nice angle, it doesn't have to be too much actually, because I can do a lot more with less of an angle than on a slower table. Although I do like playing on slow cloth a lot because you really have to develop your stroke and your follow through. Playing on a fast table is like ice skating. This isn't the fastest table that I've played on by any means, but it's up there in the top 10% of your normal tables that you're going to play on. So I think that's pretty fast. It's not new cloth, but it plays as fast as some new cloth. All right, so there, I wanted to come out a little bit more so that I'm straight in on the 8. I am straight on the 8, but I got to shoot it to the right-hand side of the pocket in order to stop the cue ball right there for the 9-ball. Alright, so just held the cue ball right there. Come around, get on your angle, get into the shot, stay down, follow through, don't move. You could do that drill. See how the cue ball stopped right there? You could actually do that as a drill. This is one of my favorite drills to teach, is for a little while, maybe a rack or a few racks, you shoot every shot and you're not allowed to move your body until the cue ball comes to an absolute complete stop, and then you can stand up and go to the next shot. See if you can do that for a whole rack or for 15 minutes where that cue ball comes to a complete stop before you're allowed to move after shooting the shot. What this drill does is it helps you break the habit of jumping up on your shots. Like a lot of people have that problem. A lot of players move their head or move their body when they shoot. And if you have to stay down until the cue ball comes to a stop, you're going to realize pretty quick that you've been moving a little too soon. And this one drill could transform your game combined with the right fundamentals. Good solid bridge, pre-shot routine, all the stuff that I teach inside of Pro Pool Academy. Now here we go with the break. Cue ball came back a little more than I would like, and then I got kissed down a little further, and all I ended up with is a real thin cut shot or a bank shot. And I could slide the cue ball with low all the way back up the table underneath the 9 and the 5. But now I would have to be super accurate on that one ball because I'm hitting it harder, and I would jack up. So I decided I could keep a level cue if I just hit it with straight top, and I can hit it soft. The cue ball's getting out of the way because I have to cut it a little bit, so therefore I can play more of the perfect natural angle, but a little bit longer because those banks, when you have any kind of slight cut, it'll grab the ball and put spin on it. That's one of the things I learned from Freddie Bentavigna's book, Banking with the Beard. Anytime you're cutting a bank shot, be careful. You have to usually aim longer than you normally would, or in some cases shorter if you're doing a crossover side pocket bank shot or a crossover bank shot one railer. You actually aim a little shorter, and because you're cutting across the face of the ball, it puts spin on the object ball in the direction that the cue ball is going after it makes contact with that ball. So it kind of grabs onto it, swipes across it, and spins that ball so it goes into the rail with side spin instead of with no spin, and that changes the direction off the rail slightly. Now here I came up way too far. I'm snookered, so I have to jump over the edge of the 7 just to cut this 5 ball in. And from there, you can feel pretty happy to get a shot if you make that ball. Because it's tough enough just to make it, and then the cue ball is flying because you're only hitting the edge of the ball, so you do need a little bit of luck, although it's always best to play for something, even if you're playing for some kind of 5-rail carom ticky and then land on an exact spot. Just surprise yourself if you plan ahead every shot what you can do, even when it looks real random. So here I have just enough angle, especially on this fast cloth, to cut that 7 into the side and pull over a little bit of low, a little bit of left. Basically, it's like a stop shot. I'm like a draw stun on that 90-degree line, and knowing how straight you're hitting it and how far you want to go on that line, you can land right where you want to on those shots, or at least close enough. Okay, now this one is slightly angled to the right, so the cue ball is going to go right towards the 9 if I hit the rail first with this. So I don't want the 8 ball to hit the rail going in to the pocket. I want to shoot it to the left side of the pocket. That way I'm actually shooting the shot straighter, and the cue ball comes back quicker, straighter, as opposed to if I cut it and the cue ball goes out on the tangent line before it starts coming back, and that's a whole different line. And you could snooker yourself on the 9, or you could draw it harder and actually run into the 9 on, or make a breakout shot on certain shots, depending what you're trying to do. You can avoid that curve off the tangent line by hitting it straighter, or you can actually manufacture more of a curve by hitting it harder or cutting it more. So remember to check out Pro Pool Academy, where I cover so many shots and fundamentals, and there's tons of courses and videos on there. You just got to go check it out and sign up and see for yourself. Okay, the main thing, don't draw too much there and hit the 8 ball. So that was another close to tangent line shot. I think I bent it forward actually though. But here, just go straight across because I had a nice angle to do so. This one I don't want to be straight in on the 8, but I also don't want to hit the 9 here. So I'm going to put a little bit of high right, come down table. And you can play this either off of that bottom rail and back out, or just play right to the spot you want to be at. But you can see I am a little bit too straight here, but I have enough angle to work with, and this is part of recovering as you're getting used to a table, or you play on a table that is faster one direction and slower another direction, because this table has a lot of weird little rolls like that. But it plays level enough to do most of the shots in your repertoire. As far as if you have a super level table, then that allows you to hit a lot more shots real soft. You can roll the ball, and it's crazy what you can do when you trust that cue ball is going on the line that you won't want to hit it down, even on a long distance where the cue ball has to travel a long distance. On a level table, you can do some amazing softer shots and be successful at them very consistently, whereas when the table's not so level, you're not going to even try that a lot of times. So that's why one reason you'll see that I'm shooting a lot of like drag shots and stun shots on this table. Even at a softer speed, you can do like a softer drag or stun depending on the distance and your angle. But when you hit the cue ball low with a little bit of a follow through, that cue ball tends to hold line and a little bit harder, but it will also kill the cue ball, as opposed to just hitting everything harder to keep the ball on line with no ability to slow down the speed of the cue ball after it makes contact with the cue ball. And that's the reason for doing that drag shot. You can control the cue ball with a low hit. It transforms into a sliding cue ball or even a rolling cue ball forward by the time it gets to the object ball. Okay, here, so I got where I wanted to be. I had a bunch of other options. I could have gone straight across 2 rails or go a little bit further, shoot the 6 up in the corner, but I ended up right where I wanted to be. And I have a stop shot here. Now here I have the option to shoot that 8 in the side, but the angle is a little steeper than I like. So what I'm going to do is trust my ability to spin the ball soft enough and make the 7, hit it fat enough and make it so I can come wider and avoid scratching in the side. You can see it wasn't too much of a follow through, but I had enough spin at the time it hit the ball, and it was slow enough to where that spin grabbed, and I have a nice straight in draw shot just about to come back for this 9 ball. And I want to say thank you for tuning into the video. Hit that like button, subscribe with the bell notification. I really appreciate it. It helps out the channel. And check out Pro Pool Academy. Sign up, become a member, take your game to the next level to where you play like a pro or you become a pro. It's all up to you.